Rowan Hand with you. It's Destination Uri, the morning show, and I'm joined by Jen Fitzgerald. You're more than welcome.
Thank you.
This woman's a swimmer, and we have her story for you this morning as we go out live, Jen, right across the planet. And people will be viewing you this morning in Manhattan, in Manitoba, over in Sacramento, down in Adelaide in Australia. With all work, you got it there. Swimming is at the heart of your being. You love swimming.
I do, yeah.
And when did it all start for you, swimming?
Well, when I was a kid, my mom put us on the swim team. I grew up in the States, so
Yeah, which part of the States?
in Maine.
Yeah,
So long, cold winters.
yeah.
And so we just spent our winters swimming, and then in the summer times we would have always been swimming in one lake or another. So
Wow.
we were always in the water. You know.
It sounds so lovely, swimming in one lake or another.
Yeah. Oh well, it is. It's
Here
fantastic.
we have chlorinated swimming pools, but
Yeah,
no lake. Impossible.
yeah.
The only lake, the close lake, would be Carlingford Loch for summer swimming.
Yeah, the loch. Or well, there's Camla Lake as well.
Camla as well.
Yeah, yeah. And there's a strong swimming community up there in
Absolutely.
Camla.
It's a community that's growing because when I was younger, and there wasn't so much swimming about, and we we had a swimming club, and the swimming pool opened, and it started to grow from there, you know. But in your swimming, at some point along the line, a penny dropped with you, and you said, "I like this so much, I want to keep doing it." And how did that find expression to keep doing it?
Well, actually, all of my school days I spent swimming, and when I turned 18, I was like, I'm all done with this.
That
I was
the
just
end of it.
burnt out on competing and stuff. And
Did you do a lot of competing? Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. Every Friday we had like a meet for our school, and every Saturday we had one for our club.
But Friday and
So-
Saturday swimming competitively
Yeah.
meant surely early
Training.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
Yeah.
Thursday,
Yeah.
shortly after dawn or whatever, out
Well,
there training.
You could do, the mornings or in the evenings.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was training 5 days a week and then competing a couple of days a week. That makes me sound like I'm a superstar. I
No,
was
but you know,
guaranteed
it's,
third place finisher.
Well, it's nice to be able to guarantee
Yeah,
third
right,
place.
okay.
Yeah.
So sometimes fourth. But
Yeah.
so by the time I kind of left school, I was kind of all done with that, you know. So
Yeah.
I didn't swim for a long time.
So what style was your preference?
100-meter butterfly.
Butterfly.
Yeah, I like
Well, that's
that.
the shoulders going
Yeah,
up and in
yeah,
and down.
yeah.
Yeah. You could drop me in you will understand this as a swimmer. You could drop me now in the middle of Carlingford Loch, and I would end up in either Carlingford or in Warren Point, depending on
The
which way
tide.
the tide was going. But I would get there.
Yep.
But I get there by virtue of the breaststroke.
Right.
That was the stroke. It's the survival stroke, the breaststroke.
Yeah, well, you can do it with your head above the water, and you can.
Yeah,
It's
and
restful.
relaxed, it's
and
restful and
I
all the rest of
suppose,
it,
yeah.
yeah.
It is, yeah, definitely. It's hard to swim that fast. So.
Yeah, constantly. I
Yeah.
always found the crawl
Yeah.
was very disorientating because as my head went into the water, I'm breathing out, and then I turn my head to get a breath here in the trough of the bow wave of my head. I can't keep the water in my ears and the water everywhere. Just love the breaststroke, nice and gentle, and relaxed. Is the way
There you
to do
go.
it.
Well, you'll not burn out.
I'll not burn out. I'll not burn out. Jen, you then started at some point. Was it in America that you started to teach swimming?
No, it wasn't. It was here in Ireland. My husband and I, we were self-employed for a long time, and then we closed our business. And we were both at kind of like we need to reinvent ourselves.
Yeah.
we need to bring in an income.
Yes.
And he sort of suggested to me, and I sort of kind of thought of myself, well, I could go and I'd like to become a swimming teacher. So
Yeah.
I went and qualified as a lifeguard in the pool in Uri, and then
you do your bronze medallion start off.
no, I didn't. I actually just went straight for the
gold.
national pool lifeguard qualification
Yeah.
with some of the local men here.
Yes.
And then I went about getting my qualifications to become a swimming teacher and getting experience.
Yeah.
And so then I eventually found gainful employment, and it just sort of started from there. I think once you work one place, it's sort of word of mouth, and then
And
you might
go
get
out
work
around
somewhere
the
else.
country. You go to swimming pools in Armagh, swimming pools in Uri.
Yeah, and
maybe
then
this
in
one, whatever,
Carlingford,
Bantridge
yeah,
and Carlingford.
yeah.
And why can people not swim naturally? Is it a
I think
nervousness?
they can. No, I think actually people can. I think the younger a person is, I believe that they can actually swim.
Yeah.
And it's as people get older, they start to rationalize their fear of the water.
Yeah.
So then they become really inhibited, and then they become afraid. But like, see, like kids that are 2 and 3 years of age.
No bother.
Yeah.
But isn't it, you know, I rather think that one's natural disposition ought to be unfearful of the water, because we've come from the water. Our bodies are 98% water.
Yeah, exactly.
We're just part of the water.
Yeah.
And our ability to float is inherent in us, and all of that. So are there people that you know, are too old, too young, or what way does it work?
I don't think you're ever too old. I do think that adults maybe sometimes have unrealistic expectations. You know, people that are like in their 40s and they say, I don't know how to swim, and can you teach me how to swim? And I always say, well, I can, but you need to be committed. You know, you can't just come for 30 minutes once a week and take a lesson with me and expect to know how to swim. It's like learning anything else, how to play a musical instrument or how to ride a bicycle or anything that requires practice in between times.
How do you start them off when they've someone who hasn't swum before, someone who is 40 and maybe is a little fearful of water? You put them into the pool at the shallow end, no doubt. What happens?
Well, depending on their fear, I try to get a feeling for how or fearful or fearless they are of the water. You know, what is their inhibition? Why have they not learned to swim till the age of 30 or 40?
Yeah.
And once I get a handle on that, then my approach would be slightly different. I mean, if they're very afraid of the water, then give them plenty of buoyancy aids, keep them close to the wall, you know, and just have them walking around the pool, getting familiar with their environment. Once they feel a little bit comfortable, try and get their shoulders under, then their chin. Breathing is the most important thing. You have to know how to breathe in the water. So once they're comfortable, you have to get their face in, blowing bubbles.
One of the things that I used to love doing in my more athletic days was to go to the deep end of the pool and take a completely perpendicular shape with my hands above my head, concentrating my weight on the stake of my body, and exhale. So in the exhalation, I would go right to the bottom, touch the bottom, allow my knees to bend, and then push back up again to the surface.
Fantastic.
It's always great
it's
fun.
Nice and peaceful.
It's
way deep down.
You could do that. I could do that for an hour with frisbee, just up and down. You suddenly are in a heavenly world of difference.
Yeah, it is. It's nice. I'm teaching a woman how to swim, and I'm kind of, you know, she sort of said, I'm really afraid of the water, and I have a son, and he's 3, and I'd like to know how to swim just in case anything happens to him in the water, because I know I would jump in after him, you know. So I said, right, okay, well, we'll give it a lash. Now, she's great because the will to learn is there. So she said to me, she's just from the beginning, she wanted to put all of her inhibitions behind her, and she's tried to listen to everything I've said. And but the first time she sort of was under the water and blowing bubbles, and she came up and she said, it's so peaceful down there.
Yes,
and then the first time she was swimming, and then she came out of the pool, she said, and she's standing on, you know, dry land, and she said, oh, I feel so heavy now. You know, those are the nice things that people, if you can put your fears, you know, you do realize that it's quiet and there's a lightness in it, you know.
I think it's worth mentioning, and I put on my life-saving hat in this situation and say to people, if you are in a situation where you need to rescue someone, the last thing you do is go in yourself. If you've got the branch of a tree, you could reach out to someone. If you've got a plastic container or a life jacket that perhaps you keep in the back of your car, get that out to the people. And if that's not going to work, put the life jacket on yourself, even though you can swim, and then enter the water, and never dive into the water, because you don't know what's underneath the water. You step in gently all the time.
Yep, absolutely fantastic advice. Like, that's probably the crux of a lot of what's called the rookie lifeguard course now, which is really a popular thing to be teaching to children that are quite good, accomplished swimmers, and you want to start teaching them life-saving skills from an early age, so that if they came upon somebody in the canal, help, they would know what to do without panicking, and they wouldn't jump in and then put themselves in danger of becoming a drowning victim.
Absolutely. So how are the schools on this? Do you go into the schools, do you, to help?
I don't really do much with the schools. I mean, it's part of their curriculum.
It should be. Is
it? It is, yeah, it is.
Well,
but I don't know if they get enough time. You know,
there are many demands on the curriculum time.
Yeah.
And swimming is one which can be shunted and put to the side, you know.
Yeah.
Are you teaching some very young people at the moment?
Yeah.
Really?
I
How
am,
young?
Yeah. Well, let's see. My youngest right now, she would be 2. But I've had her since she was about a year and a half, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's cute. I mean, like 2-year-old, everybody says, can you teach them to swim? You can, but like for maybe 4 weeks in a row, they might take the notion that they just didn't want to do any of it.
No.
You know,
Yeah.
and then for another 4 weeks, they'll come on great and they'll do everything.
Yes.
You know, so I don't know, I find them kind of temperamental a little bit, but they're fun. They're really fun,
Yeah.
you know, to play with in the water. But yeah, I suppose my favorite age to teach would sort of be between 3 and 5.
3 and 5.
Yeah.
And is it the case that between 3 and 5 you are putting disciplines into people which will stand by them when they become a teenager, early teens, which will allow them to become very, very good at it?
I suppose so. I just like it because they're fun. They say the funniest things. They do the cutest things. There's such an innocence about them, you know, and they're easily impressed, you know. So
We all like to be to be recognized.
yeah, but
in
they're
that
fun,
way.
you know.
Yeah.
You can play so many games with them. You can just be really crazy with them in the water.
One of the things we used to was to hold a float board, but that size there, polystyrene,
Yep.
in front,
Yep.
and then use your legs only
Yep.
and kick your way up and down the
Oh
float
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
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 People-
My favorite thing to do with those guys would be like play the weather game.
What's the weather game?
Oh, the weather game. It's a listening game, so it's
Yeah.
important. And I tell them a story, and in the story, if it's raining, I make them throw the water in the air.
Yeah.
And if it's thundering, then they have to slap the water and make the noise. And they have to do, but so it involves like tons of splashing. So you're kind of tricking them into
You're
splashing each other. And
Enjoy the water.
yeah, enjoy
No
the water
fear.
and have fun. So they're so focused on listening for whenever you say rain that they forget, you know, that they're in the water and they're getting splashed and all. And it's funny too, because sometimes the kids that don't really like the water, you can see them sort of.
Yeah.
As
But they
you
come
say, it
away
was
from that very
raining.
quickly.
What?
They come away from that very quickly
Yeah.
once they're doing
Yeah.
that. The people often say, you know, swimming is great exercise.
Yeah, it is.
But I think it's only good exercise when you push it. If you're just in there floating around, that's
Yeah.
good for your joints maybe,
It is.
but it's not going to do you any good aerobically unless you're sucking it in and blowing it out hard.
Well, I suppose so, but you're using all your muscles.
Yeah,
know,
are you really?
So, well, yeah.
When I'm in the water, I never feel as though I'm using any muscles. I just feel this is, wow, I'm just...
You
it's
must be
just
one of
so
those
good.
incredibly buoyant people that just
at ease.
effortlessly floats through
Totally,
life.
Totally. Well, I do like to think I can float through life, which is another situation
Yeah.
altogether. But I do think it is a good exercise if taken seriously. Can become a bit boring though if you're going up
No,
and down a
never
pool.
boring.
Up and down a
No.
pool. You know,
No,
100
because
times.
well, I don't know. When I'm going up and down a pool 1, 2, 400 times, I'm constantly thinking about the open water. I like to swim in the open water. So,
Yeah.
and I'm a wimp. I can't
Yeah.
do really cold water. So my open water season starts maybe in March.
Dreaming of a lake.
I
in
know
May
the
and-
loch, Carlingford Loch,
yeah.
or down, and I love to go down to West Cork, swim in the Atlantic, or
Beara Peninsula.
yeah, or in
And then
Chidani. It's nice.
Chidani.
Yeah, there's good surf there.
Yeah.
And then in the summer, I'm lucky. I get to go off to the States. And all the many lakes that I swam in my childhood, so I'll be thinking. So I'm always preparing for like that long swim.
I always remember when I worked in RTE in Dublin, I swam all year round at the 40 foot. It's a place in Sandy.
Yeah, I've never been there. I have to go there.
It's a great
Everybody goes
spot.
on about it. Yeah.
But I remember summer days or Christmas days.
Yep.
It was always great. But in summer days, it was lovely. I would lie back and just relax in the water, and I'd be lifted on the wave coming in, and then drop back down again. And the sky above me, totally blue, absolutely blue
Yeah,
sky.
magic.
And the jet trails going across, and I'm just there, totally chilled
Yeah.
out. It was great altogether. Where do people find you?
People find
You have
me.
you have an email, have you?
Yeah,
And
Loud
what is
Yank.
it? What is it?
Loud Yank. That's-
Loud, L-O-U-D,
Yep, Yank.
Y-A-N-K.
At
Loud
Gmail.
Yank at
Gmail.
gmail.com.
Yep. Yep. And they can also find me in the pool in Newry on Saturday and Sunday nights.
Saturday and Sunday nights
Yeah.
in the pool in Newry.
Yep, because I teach for John O'Hanlon.
Ah, no, do you know John?
Yeah, yeah.
Tell John you were talking to Rowan Hand.
I will.
And you'll hear a few things about me. I tell you.
All
John's-
good, I'm sure.
Well, no, John O'Hanlon and I never did anything bad. around water in our lives because we just love it. You know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's another
He's
avid swimmer.
Yeah, he is, surely.
Yep.
John's a great fellow.
Yeah, he really
Yeah.
is. Yep.
So that's it. So Saturday and Sunday night, and it's loudyank
Yep.
at gmail.com. Learn to swim now.
Yeah, or maybe in Carlingford Lock, or in the Four
Carlingford
Seasons
Loch,
pool,
in the
or
Four Seasons is there.
up at Camla Lake this
Camden
weekend.
Lake is there. You are, but
Yep.
you've got it. Thank you for coming in.
No problem.
I've been
My
talking
pleasure.
to Jen Loudyank Fitzgerald. Hi, thank you for coming in. We're going to play you some music now.
Okay.
Andrew, music for the lady.